morning, good afternoon, good evening. I guess this is inventing with AB. I've been looking online at these fancy knife sharpeners, and I said, man, I could make one of those. So what I had this old block that used to hold knives. You can see there was four steak knives that used to be on this thing. And you just stick your knives in the end here, and it's kind of a decorative thing for your table, I guess. Anyway, it broke. And I said, well, that's a nice piece of wood. Cut the end off of this. I'm going to use that as the stand. And when I was a sheet metal man, I had this scribe here, multi-scribe. I'm going to use this for my adjustment for my knife angle. It goes up and down. It's pretty sturdy. It doesn't move. And I beveled the ends of it here so the rod would slide through here. I think I need to have different angles, and I know that I could be wrong, but I think there's 15, 20, 25, 30 degree angles, and they said just a standard angle is 25. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shove this thing in here like so, and I'm probably going to pin it with a couple of bolts, and then I'll screw this from the bottom to hold it to the base plate here. And what I have done is I took a sharpening stone and I drilled a hole in the end of it. And this rod here came from a election sign, those little cheap election signs you put in your yard. And they got the rods that you stab into the ground. Well, it's now part of a knife sharpener, and I use some JB weld to lock it into the stone. I drilled it about 1.5 inches deep. It's plenty. Seems like it's pretty strong. It's not totally cured yet, so I'm not going to put a lot of pressure on it. And to hold the knife down, the other day I showed you guys these magnets. And my plan, hopefully the magnet's tough enough. I'm going to mount this magnet here. I'm going to cut it, of course. I'm going to cut it probably just the width of the base plate here. And I don't know, I haven't decided how I'm going to attach that yet. I probably JB weld it to the wood here. I don't know. We'll see what happens. And if this doesn't hold the blade good enough while I'm sharpening, then I will build a little bracket. Just dropping things today. But the way this is going to work is that this will get into here. Kind of hard to do this with one hand. And then up and down the blade, and hopefully that'll keep it at a good angle. I'm not very good at freehanding this stuff, but I figured that I'd give it a try, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, then it doesn't work. And then I could get a piece of leather for, I guess they call it stropping the blade when you're done sharpening it. Maybe just glue a piece of leather on this side over here. I might even have a little piece of ceramic to where I can do that, hit it with some ceramic before I strop it. I don't know. What do you guys think? Waste of time. I don't know. Got nothing else to do. I could probably screw that from underneath, but it'd probably end up shattering the magnet. Or I can sit here and try to chip some of the magnet out and screw it down through a hole like that. Wanted to get as much magnet on there as possible. But anyway. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Catch you later, guys. Adios.